Hey, what's going on, everybody, and welcome to the channel. Today, I'm going to be talking to you guys about Attack on Titan, the finale, and giving you my authentic opinion about the ending, right? To be very transparent, I was very excited. I think this gives away my opinion as soon as I talk. But I was very excited about how it ended. It really was. And then I watched Loki season 2, and I saw its finale. And I won't spoil Loki for you, but I'm not gonna lie. There is a parallel between a very bad, unstoppable scenario that you cannot avoid, and the answer to it. Loki handled it right, and in my opinion, Attack on Titan did not. The key is, I was very satisfied with Attack on Titan's ending because I was like, yeah, it's a cycle that's going to keep repeating, right? You can't stop it, right? Therefore, the acknowledge of it is a good conclusion. Yay! Even afterward, I kept being like unsettled, unfulfilled, but I was too ignorant to be to honestly know any better. And yes, I saw Code Geass. I'm very familiar with Lelouch, but that was a long time ago, so it's really not top of mind unless people are commenting it, which you guys have. Anyways, but yeah, Loki did it well. So now I have time to reflect more on Attack on Titan, and I'm gonna tell you what my problems are. I want to first start off because I want to say some wild stuff because I love Eren Yeager. Like in season 4, I really liked Eren and what he was going to do. Yes, I did. From a fictional point of view, the man was cooking. Okay, here is the reality of war. War is not pretty. Although we have ethical things that generally civilized people agree on what's unethical or not, in the long run, when you're conducting war, somebody has to cross the line in order to win. Whoever crosses the line the best wins. And especially winning, you decide whether you are right or wrong. If you cross the lines and lose, oh god, it's over for you as far as the world is concerned. To give you very specific examples, because I've thought about this, right? I'm going to use my beloved country for an example. I love this country. And a lot of people consider us the evil of the world. Being an Eren Yeager supporter doesn't bother me one bit. But hear me out. When you use the latest stealth technology, right? Suppressing your energy like these demons in Free Eren, right? Sneaking countries, using drones to sneak underdeveloped countries, right? Sneaking them, taking out hospitals accidentally, because it does happen. That's not a joke, by the way. This country does do that. The only way to combat an opponent who is significantly more developed than you, right, is to use underhanded tactics. That is unfortunately an element of war. So you can expect that they will, people that are against us, they will take methods that hurt our economy, and that's not going to be a way that people will agree it will be humane, however it's done. They will take methods that make our leadership scared of the choices they're going to make, right? And or methods that break the will of the people so that we will not want to conduct war. Because you'd be damned if somebody in Alabama just gets done effing their sister, rolls over bed, operates a predator drone, sneaks you, gets back into the bed, and continues doing what they were doing. Never even step foot in your country. That's the kind of technology that we have at play, right? It's not a pretty sight, especially if you're in the underdog situation. And we have to even acknowledge, even being in the first underdog, the upper dog scenario, like it's kind of cheap. It's kind of cheap to not show up on someone's radar and just start laying waste to their villages or what have you, and nobody saw it coming. War is not pretty, guys. It's not pretty. Can't like war. What goes on is always a travesty. Anyways, I think I've said enough that war is bad. The choices in war is often going to lead to bad, unethical choices. Let's get into the nitty-gritty of Attack on Titan. So without spoiling, well, I'm gonna talk Attack on Titan. You guys have to have seen it. So anyways, this ends up being our fearless leader who we are left with at the end of this franchise. This is the leader I was rooting for in season 4, okay? What we end up with is a psychopathic maniac committing mass genocide, wiping away 80% of the world's population. It's heinous. It's heinous. It's not a pretty thing, right? But in reality, this is who is pulling the strings. So I gotta be honest with you. A lot of my take isn't bound on strictly logic. Part of it is emotion. It's really an absolute letdown. And I guess that's fair. I guess that's fair because no one should have been supporting Eren. But whatever, right? It's an absolute letdown. There was no conviction behind that voice that we all heard. Attention all Eldians. I am Eren Yeager, and I will raise fire upon this world and free my people. This is the guy. This is the guy that's been calling the shots. So what happens is, to be honest with you, we're left with this guy, and he just laughs it off. He liked Mikasa, but he didn't want to tell her. He tried it. There's no better way he could find out or he can execute. So y'all gotta take me out. Y'all will be the heroes of the story. I'm just out. And then we just see the cycle of war just continues, and then we see what happens to Paradise Island years after the fact, and there's your ending. So first of all, what I'm actually looking for, if you're trying to follow like what is Lee bothered about, it's really no disrespect to the writer. The writer has accomplished something that few people dream of. So I'm not gonna just shit on their work. I'm trying to write a story myself. Look in the description of this video to follow that Twitter profile. Anyways, it's not an easy feat. So what I'm looking for is absolute conviction from Eren as he's going to fail or not fail, and then being defeated by his opponents, and then like he's just wrong. Eren was wrong, and here's what we're going to do to make the world a better place, even if it's not going to work, because you can't fight the cycle of war or the innate evil with human. But we get, you know, the story of you know, the girl, she was in love with the king, so she was just a slave to love, and Eren was a perfect candidate between him and Mikasa, and here we are. And it's like, yo, what? A lot of my see this scene right here with Armin just shaking up Eren? That's the feeling that I get left with. It's like, bruh, that's it? That's all you got? They cooked up one of the greatest because he was the protagonist of the story, pushing him to the antagonist role, one of the greatest potential antagonists, and then just shitting on his legacy, in my humble opinion, with this kind of depiction where in the back of it all, he didn't know what he was doing, was trying his best, no conviction really. What we're seeing is basically his avatar in the real world with the conviction, but the real person, you know, it's like, be careful online with those baddies avatars in the digital world, and it's some I'm just gonna say, you know, the ugly bastard. It's really some ugly bastard type of portrayal, right? The ugly bastard is one that's controlling this baddie avatar that you want to jack off to, right? But when you see the real person that's controlling the avatar, it's utter disappointment. So that's really what I got left with. And then he's just out. He's just out. And he dies, in my understanding, you guys tell me, and my understanding is he dies without ever feeling or knowing that what he accomplished was right or wrong or was good or whatever. He's just going to hell, but he's just going to leave his problems with his friends. They're going to be the heroes. I'm out. And as a viewer, I'm just left with, you see, I can't even articulate what the very problem I have, because it all comes back to a lack of unfulfillment, where there's just more to this story that just wasn't fleshed out or addressed, in my opinion, and I didn't get it. So I saw what happened, but how do I feel about it isn't properly managed, in my humble opinion. I'm just left with, but should we have done this? Should we not have done this? No one has to tell me that genocide is wrong, right? But like, Eren, somebody, like one of y'all let me know, because it's like you just become leaderless, and you're just like, what the hell was I doing here? That's actually very immature to say, because I know what you guys are going to say. He wiped out 80% of the population. He was obviously bad. I know. But hear me out. Y'all can say whatever you want to say about my boy Thanos, but he did the damn thing. It was convicted. He sacrificed his family that he actually did love, okay, because that's the only way he would have been able to accomplish his dreams. And at the end of it, he was just chilling. We defeated him soundly defeated him. And then as the franchise continues, there's various problems that you encounter, and you're like, damn, the homie was right, kind of. But we know we had to take him down. even though you can even meme about it and say Thanos was right, you can meme about it, but know that genocide is always not the answer, right? But at least through his conviction, the things he was pointing out, right? You can feel that, yo, we had to defeat him, but he was spitting. And you just joke about it because you know it's not true. Like, genocide is not a good thing. You know that. You know that. But from a story perspective, you can just see why he did that. His conviction was compelling. It sold on his beliefs. In fact, his conviction was so strong. When presented with the opportunity again is, you know that saying, if you could do it again, would you? He encountered that. He was like, damn, of course I'll do it again. And you know what? It appears that the other version of me didn't go hard enough. I would do exactly what I did, if not stronger. I'm gonna go more. Let me tell you another character. General freaking Zod. He is a villain. There's no question about it. But the man is convicted. And when you look at his isolated story between him and his people, there's a little bit of ambiguity where you're like, but I see why he was right, or I see where he was right. He was willing to go the distance for his people. There's no doubt that he loved Kryptonians. You don't doubt it, okay? He was willing to do what was necessary. There's no doubt. And then he died. He gets taken out. So you don't have to have this moment where he's like, oh, everything was wrong. No, he was at the last minute. He's like, you're gonna have to kill me. That's the kind of conviction I'm looking for. And I won't spoil it for you guys, but Loki did the same thing in its own way. So like, that's why I'm like, yeah, there was just something, there was just not a bow tied onto it. You know, back to Attack on Titan, you know, you get a Christmas present, it's not in a package, there's no bow, there's nothing, they just gave you the present. And like, I see what it is, but damn, you could have made this a lot more special for me. You know what I mean? So, I don't have the ending that should have happened. But for starters, flushing out everyone's character a little bit more, okay? Absolutely maintaining Eren's gangstiness. Don't tell me that, oh, he's been meeting with his friends, making them forget their memory. He's actually a good guy in the spiritual realm, but we get this bad guy. But remember, he still loves Mikasa, and what we're seeing is not exactly what we're getting. Don't give me that story. Keep his conviction. He meant what he said, and the world and or situation led to that, even though he's influencing the time spectrum, okay? And now we as a society have to do better because that's what we caused. And then it's possible that the cycle of war continues, etc., but at least it's a guided message or a guided theme that people are trying to follow, those who remember, right? And you know, people are gonna do whatever people are gonna do, but that gets tossed aside. Eren did whatever he had to do. His friends lived a good life, but after that, the world just goes to shit. And it's like, it didn't even matter because we're gonna keep nuking and having world-ending events all the time. And it's like, even though that's a reflection of reality, from a story point of view, it's like, well, I already know that in reality. There's a war in Ukraine going on. That's not going to end. There's a war in Israel going on. I don't know when that's going to end, right? So I already know that. And that's why I thought it was good in the story, because I was like, oh, the author's just telling you what's going on in real life. Ha ha ha. But sometimes that's not good, though. It's not good. I just feel like the author just could have did a little bit more. It doesn't need a happy ending. It just needed a clear direction and fulfillment, and that just wasn't there. It just wasn't there. There's an infinite amount of things they could have done. I'm going to end it with this. So, Code Geass. If you haven't watched Code Geass, you can't watch this video. Code Geass wiped out his siblings. That's how I remember it, because it's been a while since I've watched it. He wiped out his siblings. They was bad or whatever. I remember there was this baddie sibling that was actually like good. My memory is he took her out too, respectfully, okay? Pinned the whole freaking world against each other, had himself removed from the equation, and just sailed off into the sunset. The conviction was there, the result was achieved. They didn't bother go on and show you the cycle of war is gonna continue. It doesn't really, don't show us that. He achieved his goal. The people left over are in prominent positions, okay? He's sailing off into the sunset. He believed what he did was right. So you get the fulfilled factor. A lot of people died. Not everyone had a happy ending. There was some girl that was trying to figure out if it was between Zero and Lelouch and liking him or not. I don't even remember her story. Fill me in. Was she ever fulfilled? She liked this guy and never got it. This man sailed into the sunset with the girl that gave him the powers. It's been a while. It's been a while, right? But I'm trying to say that the conviction was there. It never left. The man never faltered. And that the faltering in Eren just kind of did it for me. I think if you always disliked Eren, you're like, see, we told you. But I read a couple of you guys were like, we want him to be chastised more, and he didn't seem to be chastised enough, from my understanding. And I agree. Even as an Eren supporter, I'm like, I don't mind if the powers that be say he's wrong. Absolutely exterminate him, right? And I just take pleasure. Ha! Eren's right. He was goated. He was goated, but he got taken out. Ha ha. But my guy didn't have any conviction, so I'm like, why am I following him? And then you guys saw a compassionate boy crying who seems to be trying his best, which almost makes it seem like it was redeeming for the crimes that he's done. And it's like, no, just pick a side. He's either a hero or a villain. Don't make him this crybaby boy that just had no idea what he was doing, which is actually fair. There are people like that. That's why Reiner was like, that's the worst possible person to have it. The writing is all there. You can't say that the writer has not thought of these things. It's just still the unfulfilled feeling is there. And I could just keep ranting about this. But that's my thoughts. I still think Attack on Titan is one of the most goated franchises. It's just that last ending. I'm like, I'd almost say rewrite it. Add an extra 20, 30 minutes. Just tweak it a little bit. That's what I would say. The alternate ending. I did see on Twitter that people were campaigning for a real ending. Because y'all already read the ending. I didn't know what it was going to be. I just always knew that it was supposed to be bad. Which I think is also the reason why I liked it initially. Because I was like, I know this is bad. Y'all saying it's so bad. I don't listen to the internet. So now I liked it a little bit more. So what happened is, this is my last point to anyone that made it to the end. The season finale that we saw for Attack on Titan was a fantastic episode. It was a great episode. In fact, it's one of the greatest of episodes. It's the finale. It's the ending point that I'm like, but wait, that was your finale? That was a great episode, but that's not how you ended, right? That's my feeling. Great episode. Finale. So I know I liked it initially. I was caught in the hype. At the thought, Loki, reflecting on some of the goated villains, Zod, Thanos. I was like, Lelouch. I was like, they could have did it a little better. Anyways, that's my thought. I'm curious to hear what you guys are going to think. There's no hate. There's really no hate. I'm just seeing if I can put out these takes and see what you guys want to say. And I love you guys. Thanks for listening to my video. We have a top 10 channel and a gaming channel that's on full steam. If you guys support me, if you guys wouldn't mind supporting me on those channels, I ask that you guys do so. The links are in the description. I'm out. And you know I couldn't stop with one channel. Be sure to check out the YaBoyRockLee subsidiary channels in the description of this video. Much love, guys.